I think what we see commonly now is national banks come in and say, we would prefer a more local regulator. The national bank regulators, typically are in Dallas, Chicago, Atlanta, Kansas City. The state bank regulators are much more local, and so and bankers like that. Bankers like to be able to pick up the phone or go down, 10 miles, 20 miles, 30 miles away and see their primary regulator. They don't really like to deal with Washington or Dallas or Chicago and those sorts of regions. So we see people who would much prefer a closer regulator, if you will, one that understands their state, their county, the types of business, whether, if it's a state that has a lot of agriculture. State banks typically are more attuned to those types of banks, agribanks. So I think it really depends on what the bank wants to do and what they're looking for. But we can tell them the advantages and disadvantages of being a national charter versus a state charter. I mean, as I said earlier, there's reasons why some banks would prefer to be a national charter. There's really no more cost to become one, but the cost of being one is a little higher for the national. The OCC recently reduced their assessments, their annual assessments, so they're more competitive with the states now. But states typically have had lower annual assessment fees than the nationals have. I think the OCC is trying to lower their costs some and have reduced theirs to make it to be more competitive on a year-by-year cost basis.